I've decided to make and test a bunch of single oil soaps. I want to evaluate what each oil does on its own. I'm thinking this will be a practical guide for when it comes to formulating blends, when I can see what qualities each individual oil brings to the party. It's something I've been interested in doing for a while, and I'm not expecting to see vast differences between most of them, but there's only one way to find out for sure, and that's to do it. To keep things consistent for each test, I'm going to use 300 grams of oils. The super fat will be the standard 5% and water will be at 20%. The only difference is that I'm going to add a bit of colour to each one so I can keep track of which is which. I'll cut a few bars of each and test them at different time intervals, starting with when they're fresh out of the mould. I'm Rox. Let's crack on. Today I'm making 100% corn oil soap. Here's what it looks like on Soap Calc. Whenever I do a screenshot, it always looks a bit blurred when I edit into the video, so sorry about that. Corn oil is very high in linoleic acid and oleic acid, so it's going to be nice and conditioning. When I've used corn oil in soap in the past, the soap has always been great, and I can't understand why it's not used more often. I expect it's because it's not as trendy as other ingredients that have got better PR agents. It's such a shame, and based on my experience of using corn oil in a blend, I'd encourage you to give it a try. Now, I'll try not to bore you with the measuring and mixing part, so just speeding through that. The only thing worth mentioning for this part is it took absolutely ages to bring this to trace. Ages. I wasn't timing it, but I'd say at least 5 minutes, and it was still looking thin, but it was definitely emulsified, so I poured it into the mould. This also took a long time to set. After a few hours, I wanted to see how firm it was, how it was getting on, so I just touched the top lightly with my finger, expecting it to be hard. It wasn't remotely hard, and my finger went straight into the batter. Still, 24 hours later, and it was fine. So I'm just cutting this roughly into 5 little test size bars. It's easy to cut, not too soft or too hard. The soap has a nice texture, smooth and firm. Let's try it. Trying it out straight out of the mould, this corn oil soap was surprisingly bubbly. Given the Soap Calc scores, I got some nice big bubbles. Pop! And the lather became quite creamy. I'm interested to see how this performs when we test it again at later intervals. I've high hopes for it. Anyway, that's that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ciao!